Hey guys, welcome back here to Advanced Bass Fishing, and appreciate you guys swinging by the channel for today's episode. And guys, today I want to have a little talk about knots, fishing line knots, just a basic, down-to-earth, simple talk about fishing knots. I think a lot of people make it a lot more complicated than what it is, so we're going to dig into that in today's video, and I'm sort of going to give you guys some my suggestions as far as knots, what to use, and what is going to be the most efficient for you guys to use in your own fishing here. Also, guys, thank you, man, very much for everybody before we get started. It's been supporting Advanced Bass Fishing. If you've been subscribing to the channel or liking the videos or using those links that I put in the description, thank you very much for me and my family. We really appreciate that support. Hope you guys are enjoying the videos, and feel free to shoot me some video ideas. I tried to look through all the comments, but you know, it's hard to do with 3 channels, so I do the best I can, but I just appreciate everybody, the support of the channel you guys have given up. Okay, there is a lot of information on knots, you know, out there. It's like it's overwhelming a lot of times. It's like, you know, you hear so many different type of knots. It's like, what's the best knot? What's the strongest knot? You used to have like break strengths and that type of stuff. And there's a lot of like knot snobs out there, I found. A lot of people think their knot's the best. It's like, you don't know what you're talking about. That's the knot that you're using is not called what you're using. There's a lot of knot snobs that I have found out there. So I'm going to simplify it with you guys. I'll tell you right off the bat what the best knot is. The best knot is the knot you can tie the fastest. That is the best knot. Unless you're tying like a granny knot or something like that, if you tie any of the basic knots, an clinch knot, an improved clinch knot, a Palomar knot, some of the most basic knots that are out there, as long as you tie those basic knots, those things, the knots aren't going to break. I mean, if you tie them correctly, the odds of the knot breaking before the line breaking are next to nothing. And I think a lot of people think that the knot strength is more important than like the line condition itself, and it's not. And here's what I'm talking about is why the best knot is the knot that you can tie the fastest. Most people don't retie enough because line gets frayed easier than what people think they do. Any type of fishing line, any type of braided or monofilament or fluorocarbon fishing line, it gets abrasion on it that a lot of people don't even feel. If you take a piece of fluorocarbon or monofilament line, and if you think you may have rubbed it up against a rock or something and you rub your fingers on it and you can't really feel anything, if you put it through your lips, you can feel abrasion on it unless it's right out of the box. And there's different levels of abrasion. There's abrasion that comes from wood, the abrasion that comes from rock, the abrasion that comes from the teeth of a fish, any type of underwater obstacle. So there's going to be different levels of that. So the knot that you can tie the fast encourages you to retie more. And this is one of the biggest reasons people break off is they don't retie enough, because a lot of people tie knots that are too complicated. So let me give you guys my basic advice on this whole knot deal. Tie a Palomar knot and call it good. You know, I've done videos on it, guys. You can look back in some of my videos, or you can Google Palomar knot, and some people show them with like yellow lines so you can see how to do it real easy. Once you get good at tying a Palomar knot, it's a very basic knot. It's one of the most basic knots there are. You can literally tie it in a matter of seconds. So it's not like more of the complicated knots out there that have 20 different wraps and loops, and you go through 4 or 5 different other loops out there. Nobody wants to jack with that. When you're out in a boat and you're out, it's rocking, it's 2-foot waves in the boat, and you got stuff moving around, all that stuff. You got to have a knot that you can tie the quickest. So you can have a knot that if you put all these knots on a knot strength machine, and one of them reads 99% or 97% or 80% or 90% or something like that, they're basically all very similar to being the same strengths. But you can't ever skimp on retying. So that is my piece of advice, guys. Tie the Palomar knot, call it good. I tie the Palomar knot probably 80% of the time. The other 20% of the time, I'll tie what's called the double uni knot, which is used for flipping and pitching. That's the one I use for flipping and pitching a lot. But a lot of people, you can get by with a Palomar knot. I mean, I did it for years. So don't try to think that you've got to learn every single knot out there that you don't. Tie a Palomar knot, it's going to be good to go. And just retie often, guys. Rub that line between your lips, and if you feel any abrasion whatsoever, just take 15 seconts and retie a knot. It's not that big of a deal. So hope it helps out. We'll talk later.